Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. You guys are already started in the chat. We got to catch up to where y'all are at. This is going to be a crazy night. So, if you haven't been here before, this is usually the show where we don't know what we're doing, but we do it together. And tonight, I don't know what I'm doing, but this guy over here does. So, I brought in a dead ringer, and we're going to make a 9-to-1 antenna. So, this is the Coffee and Ham Radio's Aries 9-to-1 random wire antenna. And this is going to be us making it. So,
Yeah, it's going to be exciting stuff. So some folks are saying that Jim looks weird and all that stuff. And so just to calm everybody's nerves, Jim got a little upset over the pink tumblers and the whole thing with that. And he was saying that he can do it better on his own. And he said that he was going to leave and we could have the tumbler business. I don't know what he's going to do. So I think moving forward that you will not be seeing Big Jim on Coffee and Ham Radios or Ham Nuggets. Just putting that out there.
Now there are only a small handful of tumblers left, so I guess maybe in a show of support, when you order the tumbler, I'll ask him to put a pink ribbon in.
Right, something along those lines.
Big Bama Jim awareness. You can slap the magnet on the back of your car and let everybody know you're thinking about him.
Yeah, he said he was going full CB, so I don't know what.
Yeah, so he's going to start a new channel. What is it? FEP Box Builder.
yes, something like that. And just so everybody knows, he was hanging out at truck stops on Saturday.
He was. It was pretty sad. I was actually kind of disappointed he didn't come home with any new gear.
I was like, you don't even have your CB in hand yet, and you're already hanging out at truck stops. So.
He's got CB envy. Next thing you know, he's going to sell that truck and get a bigger truck. So my kit is a little robbed, a little burgled, because we had to steal some parts the last time we built one of these cores, because I don't know what Chuck was doing, but he got me a special kind. So what we have is some blue wire. I was watching Tango Oscar Mike before this, and he says war. I say wire.
Right, get that war on there, boy.
Yeah, so we got some blue, some red, and some black. And didn't we change the colors on the new kits?
I think originally we were doing blue, red, and green.
But oddly enough, this wire is really hard to find.
It is. And the other one is that so like you can still buy 18 gauge wire, and the coating on it, right? The PVC jacket on it can be thicker. So we got one color that we got with a thicker jacket, and it wouldn't fit around. You couldn't fit enough wrappings around the core.
Speaking of core, we've got a T14043.
Yep.
And then I've got my BNC bits here. And then in the box, I got a frame. And when you order these now, we send you a spool of wire. So you get 100 feet of wire, and you can have it in whatever color orange you like. So it's high visibility wire. Until we change colors.
If we run out of orange, we might buy yellow.
Yeah. But the yellow might be less likely to fade in the sun.
Yeah.
And you get yourself way more zip ties than you need.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to get those 3 wires on there, and I use a zip tie to hold them together while I do the 9 wraps. So I'm trying to find the instructions. You would think that I would be smart enough to know how to do that, but
yellow is pre-faded orange, kind of like red is pre-faded chalk. You guys,
if I go to our website, I should be able to find the instructions there, right?
Yes, you should. Again, this is asking a lot of Jim if Jim had done his job.
Right, but he's off chewing tobacco with the CB boys.
Yep. Yeah, and this is what we call memory wire, because this stuff does not want to go, doesn't want to unmemory.
It doesn't play nice.
Scout75 is in the chat. Scout has a Heat Up the Ice Age Trail event that is this weekend. And if you are anywhere near the Ice Age Trail in Wisconsin, I guess it's also pretty close to Minnesota, get out and get yourself a Parks on the Air activation on the Ice Age Trail. Scout, tell us more about it in the chat. I know you have some, I think you have like a website or something. But certainly tell us more. You can't drop the link, but you can kind of hint at the link, if you know what I mean. And you're a smart guy. I know you know what I mean. Cornbread, you put the right amount of consonants in that last word. I was almost ready to kick you out there.
War.
Yeah, there's no H in war. This is solid core, I believe, isn't it, 8?
It is solid
It
core.
is. Yep.
Now it's tinned copper, so it's going to look silver, but
Yeah.
it's tinned copper.
Okay, so you want me to take all 3 of these and put a zip tie right on the end of these wires so they stay together?
What I
Or
do
what
is I just feed them up through the bottom of the core, and then I zip tie them to the core. Now there's a before you get too excited, take a look on here. So you want the bottom to be blue, black, and then red, or to your left to be blue, black, and then red is the orientation.
Okay. Yep, I get it.
All right, I'm stopping sharing right now.
And then how much do you want? It's the 4th button on the bottom, 8. The 4th
Yeah,
U.
so now I got to share my screen again because this dang on. What does he say? Chuck does this. He says start with about a 4-inch tail. So see in his picture there.
Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Yeah.
right there. I'm gonna
And
put
then you want to have that coming out of there you go, just like that.
There you go.
And then you want it to be, hey, Doc Brad, thank you.
Doc Brad, awesome.
Yeah, and then you want that to be blue, black, red. See how he's got that orientation there? Blue,
Yeah.
black, red.
And then I'm putting that zip tie on there now. I think you need like 7 hands to do this part. So blue, black, red. As I got the zip tie tightened down, they all got out of order, but that's okay.
Right. And as you wrap it, you're going to have to fight it the whole way.
But that's what makes it fun.
And so right before the show started, can you hear the weed whacking going on?
No.
The lawn guy got here, so I had to go tearing out there real quick to take up the coax in the ground plane.
Well, it's a good thing you got that 75 ohm coax. That'll cost him a lot less every time.
It's still the Mezzi and Polonia coax out there.
Oh, that's some expensive stuff.
You can hear it now, right?
Yeah. As the zip tie got tighter, it was getting easier, and then all of a sudden it all fell out of the bottom of the zip tie.
That's why we put a few of them in there.
Right. Right. Blue, black, and red. And then what do I need to do next?
Keep wrapping and point those at you for a second. There you go. And then what I do is
over there.
Yeah, so you just want to get 9 wraps as you go through it. And then what I do is as I fold it over, I use my thumb to push it through as opposed to using the end and pulling it through. I find that to be a little bit easier.
See, if I knew you were going to make me sweat like this, I would have taken my jacket off first.
So the 9-to-1 is really nice. It was my favorite antenna up into the Poseidon. You do have to use a tuner with it, and what bands you'll have to tune changes with the length of your element.
What bands will be available to tune? You'll have to tune them all the time.
Yeah, but like when I had a 35.5 foot on mine, I was 1-to-1 on 40 without the tuner. But then when I went to 41 foot element, I had to use a tuner to do 40 meters.
See, now if this was Chuck doing this, he'd already be done by now.
Right.
But I'm trying to be like extra neat and cautious and whatnot. So it takes a little bit extra time.
Yeah, but so when you're feeding them through from the end, what I do is like I said, I use my thumb to push it over from the bottom of the toroid. But you'll get it.
I can see that. I'll do that on the next turn to show what you're talking about.
What's up, Izzo? And then we got Brojet up in here.
Brojet, are you going to Hamvention or are you staying home? I know you got that new job and all. They probably don't give you no vacation.
You might be right, Hertz.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna take this jacket off. Making me sweat in here.
Yeah, it's hot here too. I had this space heater on, but I just unplugged it.
Great. And so this time I'm going to do the 8 method. I'm going to shove it through the bottom. Yeah, that looks like
Yep,
it's going
just
to be
like
a lot
that.
easier.
And then you pull them through from that loop.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. So that's my third run through, because the first time through with the 4-inch tail counts as number 1. And then the second time through, I did it by feeding the whole wire through by itself. And
Yep,
then
you're
now
on
this
3.
time I pushed it through. So does it matter if these get crossed over while I'm doing this? Should I really be like working hard to not cross them, or does it not matter at all?
Well, I always say don't cross them over, but the thing is that if you do, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Because with the Poseidon, that actually does make a bit of a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so what'll happen with these is because you have so many strands going through the center of that core, is you might get one that sits on top of another one a little bit.
So really, I should try and be tight in on these guys right next to each other
Yeah,
too.
yeah, but the thing is that because they're color coded, like the reason it's an issue with the Poseidon is because you're gonna get the wires mixed up. With these
Ah,
being
okay.
color coded, it's less of an issue. And we got ham radio tube in here, and somebody asked me the other day. They said, "Why did Michael change the channel name from KMRD radio stuff to ham radio tube? Did he ever come clean on that?"
Well, I think he's
And,
going to get married, and then he's going to change his last name.
mm,
So he
makes
won't
sense.
be MRD anymore, Mike Romeo Delta. He'll be Mike Romeo, whatever his wife's last name is.
Yeah, so what I told him is I said, "I don't know why he changed it." I said, "But what I do know is that he got plenty of grief about it, but
He
I don't
did.
I don't know if we've ever got an official answer."
As long as people are talking about it and they spell your name right,
Yeah, I don't think you.
all the critics will come out if you cross the wires. Yep. See, I've already lost count, but that's easy because I just count the red wire. So
Yep,
that's one,
count the
two,
reds and
three,
you win.
4, 5, 6. So I got 3 more to go. This is much easier pushing through with your thumb first. That was a good idea.
Yeah,
And this wire is just strong enough that it's putting up a little bit of a fight, but not, it's not killing me.
not impossible.
Yeah. Now I did do one that was impossible. When we first started doing this, what was it? I think I got like 14 gauge wire or something. I'm like, what the hell are you boys thinking?
Well, it was funny because you were saying to me, "Hey, are you sure that it's 14 gauge?" And I'm like, "God damn it, of course I'm sure."
And you weren't.
And then when you showed me the picture of the core, I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh my god, it's not 14," because it looks so out of place with the thick wire on there.
Now 14 might not be bad on a 240.
Yeah, yeah. I actually bought a bunch of 14 for the Chronos, if we depending on how we do that.
So there's the answer.
Well, I mean, I guess that is clever.
Yeah.
And he says it has nothing to do with a vacuum tube. So I'm assuming it's the tube at the center of a toilet paper roll. Probably has something to do with that. I don't
Yeah, could
I don't
be.
know. And here we
All right.
go. The commenter with the most positive outlook on life, the damned. He
Yeah.
says, new name, whatever, K at MRD is awesome, and I've learned a lot from him. Same with y'all. The most important thing I learned from him is how to deny breaking a window in a truck. It was masterful the way he did that.
All right. So that looks like 9 to me. Where's the camera? There's the camera.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're good.
All right. And none of them appear to have crossed, and they're relatively evenly distant. All right. So now I guess now we need some tools, and I didn't bring any tools to the table.
So you're going to need some snips and some strips. This is going to be this is probably the first thing, and then you're probably going to need a soldering iron.
Okay. I have all of those things. There's the snips and the soldering iron. And there's the solder and wire strippers. All right, so I've got some Kyrites wire strippers. I've got the pine sil soldering iron.
Pine seal.
I've got the Hacko. These are Hacko CHP 170
And they're
wire
great
only
little snips, those things.
snips. And then the Kester soldering iron. This is the 6337 soldering iron because I don't worry about lead free or whatnot.
Yeah. This is America, and it's your right as an American to use lead solder if that's how you identify as a solderer.
Right. I'm gonna cut the tail off of this. Never
Yeah,
hit the
because this
ground
stuff
again.
just gets in the way.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to add this to the stage, and so we're going to take a quick look at. And I guess actually I got to click on the real window. Taking a look at this. This is the diagram that we're going to follow here. So you want to orientate your toroid so it's like this, like with the stuff going out to the side, but you want the blue at the bottom.
Okay. Blue's at the bottom.
But you have that. Let me take a look at that real quick. Make yours big again, would you?
Sure. That is. We'll solo that. Nope, not that one. That one.
Okay, so your blue is at the bottom, but notice how your toroid, that's coming off the bottom of the toroid, not the top.
Yeah. I'm actually upside down,
So
but
you
it's
just
okay.
yeah, there you go. You just wound it in a different direction. You did it
I'm
probably as a right-handed person. I probably drew that as a left-handed person, but that's fine.
yeah.
We'll just do
I'm
it this way.
right-handed.
All right, so if you look at this, the blue from the bottom needs to connect to the black from the top.
So
And
it's
then
blue.
yeah,
And that's
let me see if I
black.
can grab one real quick. Give me 1 second.
All right. Chris, I think there's two D's in solder. SODER sounds like soder. Like, go get me a soda.
Yeah, give me a big old soda.
Does the winding direction matter south of the equator? Yes and yes.
Give me 1 second to turn my camera on so I can show you something.
Okay. We
Make
got
sure
plenty of
nothing
time.
on the desk shouldn't be there. That there's nothing on the desk that shouldn't be there. Let me
I
turn
don't
this
see
thing off.
anything. I think you're okay.
And then let me go to. All right, there we go. Let me zoom in a little bit here.
Reverse polarization.
So these colors are different, but see how I have these two connected right here? This black and this white one. See how they're connected?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're going to do. And then you want to have a piece of this come up. I have some heat shrink on here. And then this is what's going to go to the center pin of your BNC connector. It's going to be on the frame.
So you want me to like ease a little bit of insulation out of the middle of one of these wires?
That's exactly how I do it. I just strip it around a little bit and then leave a little bare, and then I take the other end and I solder it to it and then heat shrink it.
All right, that seems like an advanced thing.
It is, but it makes it for a beautiful build.
Chuck's here. Chuck got tired of judging
I'm
from
late.
afar.
No, I was late. I was moving a freezer out of the house, and I thought it was 5 o'clock and not 4 o'clock.
It's technically 6:30 is when the show starts.
Oh, 4:30 here.
So you want the
Well, it's
black
almost
wire
built.
to be the it is. You want the black wire to be the antenna element?
Well, so it's going to go to the center pin of your BNC. So you could technically, but what you want to do is you want to take one of those. It doesn't really matter which one, and then you want to strip a little bit close to the bottom of the core.
See if I can do this. And while I'm doing this, Scout 75 was talking about the antenna that he saw at the POTA the other day, and that was the Poseidon. This is the Aries. So that's why there's more colors on this than there was on the one you saw, Scout.
Right.
That's pretty far away.
Yeah, that's pretty far away. You want it to be pretty much closer to the core.
Yep, let's see if I can recover from this.
But you're fine. So I would just leave it as is, and then just try to do it at the bottom because it's going to be so close to that center conductor. You could still snip that off, or you could use the other one to connect to the.
I think I got it.
You may want to use those snips just to kind of put a ring around the insulation.
Oh, that's even more advanced than what I'm doing. I don't know if I can do that either. There we go. I fixed it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Where's the other one?
Yep, you're good. And then you want to take a little piece of that blue And you want to snip that blue off, and then strip the end, and then solder those together, and then slide a little shrank over that.
So like
A little
snip
farther
it
out.
like that.
Yeah, that'll work.
Chuck's saying a little farther.
Yeah, just give yourself a little extra.
Okay.
Chuck likes to give you a little extra. He's
I do,
brotherly
yeah.
like that.
He's from New Orleans.
We got N2 MAK.
Hey, Mike.
Mike uses a 9-to-1 a lot.
See, these fancy wire strippers might not be the ticket for this. I don't know.
They are bulky. That's the problem with those things.
Yeah.
I've been using ones like this lately.
Yeah, I've got a couple pairs like that. But actually, I just found my new ones, or my newer ones. These are.
I think I just got rid of
these
a pair
here.
like that.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same thing, Chuck, right?
Yeah, these are GB. These are pretty good, and I've got a different GBs. See the difference in these two?
Yeah.
Like green ones, I use a lot. I've used those a ton.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a
They're
thinning
spring loaded.
of the. I've got so many multimeters, so many wire strippers. Like so much of that stuff has been sent that I'm gonna have to do a purge.
So what I was doing, my wife opened up the freezer the other day, and everything was defrosted, so it wasn't working anymore. Luckily, looks good.
So I gave it a little.
Luckily, we saved
half wrap.
most of the meat. Yeah, get that.
You were able to save most of the meat.
That's good.
Yeah, we only had one package that was bad, but I cooked a lot of stuff that day between her and I.
All right, did you do any canning or just cook it up?
What's that?
Did you do any canning?
Cooked it. Well, no, we just cooked it, and then she, like we're gonna eat it, and then she froze it in a. She's got one of those heat sealers.
Cool.
Takes all the air out. Vacuum pack.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Gio. So you want to take the black one from the bottom. So remember, you got to flip it around. I'm sorry, it's the red one from. Oh boy.
See, Chuck, I wound mine right-handed.
Oh.
So let's take.
Frank tried to tell
we
us
took the blue one from the bottom.
Right, let's take a look at yours on the big screen.
So Frank tried to tell us our instructions were wrong, but he wound his backwards.
Yeah, this Tio's is wound backwards too, but it's okay. We'll get through it.
It still works.
So you took the black from the bottom and hooked it to the blue from the top.
Well, the black from the top right
now.
here, and then the blue from the bottom.
I think we're going to be okay.
19 and heard someone identify as Twinkle Twinkle Periwinkle 555 Big Bama. Is that where Jim's hiding tonight? Yes, sir. Doc Brad, you got it correct. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated.
I think I
flip
got
that
it
over
wrong.
to you. Flip that over. There you go. Okay, so we took the blue from the bottom and connected it to the black from the top. And then, so that one's going to go to our center conductor. So the next thing you need to do is take the black from the bottom and connect it to the red from the top.
Okay. And this is just end-to-end connection?
Yep, it's just going to be end-to-end connection. So just, you can snip them.
And this doesn't matter about size. These aren't hooking up to any.
They're not hooking to anything.
Connector. Okay, perfect. So I will cut them and strip them. Snip. Snip. I hate cutting wire, man. Makes me nervous.
Right.
Makes me nervous.
Looking for.
And if you want to pick one of these up, you can go to coffeeandhamradios.com. Yeah, and we still have a couple of the kits. We're calling the Aries Light. It's the same thing as the normal Aries, but it's $5 cheaper because it comes with less wire. It comes with enough wire. Chuck, you want to explain how much wire it comes with?
I think it's like 10 feet less, really.
It's enough to save you $5.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is Jim right here.
Hang on. What, in the chat?
I don't see him in the chat.
No. He's on 27. He's on 27.37.
Oh, you're listening on CB. Okay. All right. So black and red are getting married.
He's like, this Big Bama Jim.
This Big Bama.
Twinkle Twinkle Periwinkle. I like that.
Chuck, I was telling him how he was hanging out at the truck stop on Saturday.
Yeah, he was.
So
had to get smokes.
He had to go up there and get himself some Newports.
All right, so now I've got red and black married, blue and black married. What's next?
Let me go ahead and do this. And let me make it so I can see it on my screen. All right, so the red one on the bottom should not be connected. That's going to be your antenna connection, right? Okay. So that one you're gonna fold up to the top of the frame, and then you have a blue one that's left over on the other side, and then that is going to go to the shield of your BNC, and then it's going to also split off to the counterpoise.
Wait a minute.
Okay. Yep. So it sounds like what we need to do next is start working on the frame.
I got you. There you go. So yeah, I'd put that BNC on there would be the first thing I would do.
And then Chuck told me this tip about trying to get the little cup on the BNC.
Focus. Yeah.
One way will be pretty close and the other will be totally off.
Yeah, because you want to pull solder. That's how you say it. Solder into that cup.
Oh, there he is. There's Jim. So he's running his amp.
Worldwide.
Jody, I got you. We're actually going to redo the instructions for most of our antennas. We're going to be making some modifications to the antenna kits. Just adding some different components and parts to them. And we're starting with the Apollo.
So the warden
at goddamn Country James showed up. What's up, son?
The warden at the local prison called us and said that our antennas are not compliant. People might be able to hide stuff inside of that heat shrink. So we've got a solution for that too. Chuck, what CB are you using?
S05E17.
Nice.
I'm just listening.
He snipped a resistor, boy.
No, I didn't. Can you hear him? That was 444. That's the guy just below Jim.
Right.
Jim would be much louder.
You got the other big Jim from Alabama. He's 444 instead of 555.
That was 444. No big signals. I'm on my.
Yeah. So if you do that, Tia, what I would do is that little tab, flip it to the other side, and just do the. There you go.
We're gonna make a backwards Aries. I like it.
Well, see, that's how Chuck
right-handed Aries.
Yeah,
I do now because that's right-handed. Ape's left-handed.
Okay, so I tucked this one up out of the way. Give me that next instruction.
That looks right to me.
And then there's probably I can probably snip off most of this black wire here that's going into the BNC.
Yep.
Look at that.
You say Gene was here? Was he in the chat?
No. He's not in the chat.
No.
Now, once you get that oriented, I would zip tie it down so it doesn't, you know what I'm saying, mess around on you. You don't want it to mess around.
10 over what? CBers don't say 10 over
9. 10 over
You'd be
9,
surprised at how much ham lexicon is now in the CB world.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what I'm finding out is most of the GMRS repeaters are filled with hams, and the ham repeaters are all silent.
Well, what I can tell you is that when I was in high school and we used to play around on our CBs, like we would call it when the skip was rolling, boy, you'd get that DX. And DX doesn't mean, different country. It just means
it's state to state.
Far. Right, far away.
It's the European definition of DX.
Right.
This guy's pretty loud, but he's not even moving my meter.
Well, that's how it was that one time you and I were talking on the radio, Chuck. You weren't moving the meter at all, but you were booming in.
Which is exactly why we don't use the meter for an RST report.
Son, the meter don't lie.
But the RF knob does.
Right.
Right, tiger tail is going to be the tip of the truckers. And Jim's going to be like, I know you got them phased on them mirrors, boy, but you got a tiger tail on there too, flapping in the breeze.
You can't be pointing them forward like that. You get to see they point them forward.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing you could do.
You're just bending that signal, man. You
It
got to
looks
put
cool,
that
though. It
English
looks
on
cool.
it. All right.
Tiger tail
Toroid
Gene.
is strapped.
I don't think I can transmit here. Oh, gives me a busy signal.
I undone my twists. Eight.
There we go. Our buddy is asking if there's a difference between QRP and QRO. It depends on who you ask. I'm going to take it easy on the QRP boys. I feel that I've given them enough grief lately. I don't want to alienate part of the audience.
It's a small part.
I really can't hear them complain, but I'm assuming that they might be, though.
Well, we're sensitive, you know. That's what I've always said
Right.
about you. You're sensitive.
I'm thinking of the people.
So I'm just going to start snipping a little bit off of that lead wire and see if I can get it shoved into that BNC connector. And if I've taken off too little, I can take off more, but it's hard to add back on.
Well, solder's kind of like the caulk of the electronics world, right? I mean, little caulk will fix it right up.
There we go. That looks good to me.
There you go.
All right, so I got to get the soldering iron ready.
Oh, nice case.
Beautiful case, Chuck.
Country Jim just figured out how to use up his 1 a month freebie.
Ooh, Jim!
You didn't waste it. We see it. We're celebrating your individuality.
There's no
That's
wasting here.
Oh, that guy's moving the meter.
Plug in my soldering iron.
Look at this Andy Cowan dropping a 40 on you. I tell you what.
A 40. A 40.
When I was a kid, I was like, when I'm an adult, I'm going to invent the 44 ouncer of malt liquor. It's like, I'm going to charge the same amount as a 40, but you get 4 more ounces of malt for free. And I'm going to be putting everybody out of business. But I never did it. Never happened.
So when you get the deuce, you got to pour out 2 ounces for your fallen homies. How much do you pour out for the 44?
You double down and pour out 4.
All right.
And then you top it off with Tropicana. Right? That gets you your breakfast mimosa.
Oh, I like
These
that.
guys might be local. Let's
Hey, Scout.
All right, the soldering iron is warming up. 41 months. Don's been a member longer than Andy? That's impossible.
Oh damn. Don probably manipulated the system somehow.
You know how he is.
Having ape on is like reading the instructions.
There we go. Smoke Signal was going to invent the extra gulp.
Nice.
You can get your big gulp, but it is Izzo's bodega. You can get the extra gulp.
Izzo's bodega.
That was kind of crazy, man. You get like a swimming pool size amount of pop. See, I'm from the Midwest now. I can say pop as opposed to my Balmer roots where we said soda.
So Mike's talking about a 42 of OD. And so,
Nice.
Mike, you remember private stock? You could get that a 64 ouncer of private stock back in the day.
So is it cheaper to get 2 44s or one suitcase?
Well, when I was a kid, again, having a good time, we would actually drink the 3 2s, the Trey Deuce of Mickey's, which is a quart, and we could get those for 99 cents a quart. And that was the most cost-effective hangover you could get.
I'm surprised you didn't stay local with the Natty Bow.
Oh, I had plenty of that.
And then this part where I married the black and the red up here off on the side, I'm going to go ahead and solder that too, just for good measure, right?
Yeah, I would.
And for those of y'all playing along at home, I'm running 640 degrees Fahrenheit on my soldering iron.
This guy's saying the tram's got the 899 beat, man.
It does work every time.
And it's cheaper.
ISO tip. I'm talking about a soldering iron. I'm not talking about what Mike does in his spare time. ISO tip is sending me one of these wireless, whatever they are, soldering irons.
Chuck and I have one of those. Chuck, is that gas or is that battery powered or what?
It's battery. It's actually a really nice unit.
Yeah.
I know I said unit, right?
I think our friend Graybeard Pota here is trying to say something, but I'm not 100% sure.
I
Can
can't
you
hear him.
turn it up? Can you crank it
In
up?
the weeds, in the weeds.
You're down in the gravy, son.
Right, right.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm not ape
Great,
shaming.
man.
I may have to hook up my
G90 users.
CD here in a second.
I love the G90 radio.
Yeah, G90 is like the second best radio out there.
I sold mine. I traded mine, and it's one of the bigger regrets I've made in the ham radio space.
What did you trade that for? I know who you traded it to. What did you trade
I traded
it
for the ICOM 5100 that I still haven't taken out of the box it was shipped to me in.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, there she is. Center pin done. I got to get this blue thing.
Yeah.
To the.
So what we like to do is strip.
In.
Yeah, we got to get that lug in there, but we also like to strip the blue wire pretty far so you can feed it through the tab and then crimp the end piece on. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. This wire strips real easy though.
Oh, it's super
big
easy.
strips.
Yeah.
But for now, I want to get this stud in place so I know QRP level of monthly membership.
They're all talking at the same time.
Liberty, it helps. Every little bit helps, man. Putting up with these two.
Yeah, Liberty.
Yeah, I think about picking up a G90 often, Mike. But the reality is that I don't need another radio over here.
Right. Well, you still got that 817, don't you?
I have an 817. I have the Lab 599 and the 75 and the 705. Okay, so Mike wants to trade the FTM 300 for the 5100. I've got the FTM 500. So I ain't going 200 down, son. See what I'm saying? So I appreciate the offer, but I'm probably going to pass on that. But if you went to 5100, Mike, I'm open to negotiation. See,
ham bros, man.
What, is that the mobile one?
It is.
Yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, I was all hot to try it on it, but I'm just never going to use it.
See, look at that. It just comes right off.
Now, if I was one of them, if I'm one of them D-Star people, I might be into that.
Well, Mike's a big D-Star man.
He says he might be interested. You know how to get a hold of me, son?
8675309. I hear that's his phone number to call.
Yeah, that's Mike's number.
All right, so I've got
unused G90.
That bad boy right there on the BNC tab.
I might pull a little bit more of that blue stuff off, because that's going to get hot when you solder it. You see what I'm saying?
I gotta unwind it to do that.
It's practice makes perfect, though.
You're making it hurt, man.
I'm good on QRZ, Mike.
I don't know that I can nip this all that well.
Easy now. There'd be a bad time to cut that off.
It'd be a very bad time, man. I'm more worried about losing my fingernail here. I got these delicate thumbs.
You got to be careful with those the ones you're using too, because they'll nick that stuff and that solid core wire will break sometimes.
There it is.
Hey, Arthur.
Gray Man wants to know if it's used or new. Ape, the 5100.
It's used, but it's in pretty good condition.
It's well loved.
But listen, listen. I really like Graybeard Pota. I mean, I think he's a great guy, but I would only be willing to part with this to a ham bro like Mike. He and I go way, way, way back.
That's true.
Way. Hey, Arthur.
Now you tell me to melt it off. That's what I could have done in the first place there. Okay, so I want to wrap this thing around this little stud down here.
Well, what I would do is I'd crimp one of them things on there.
Yeah.
See, there's just not a whole lot of room between that.
I usually
I would solder one of them on there. See, what I would do is I would bend that tab up a little bit too. Give you a little bit more swing on that thing.
All right, so there's the swing.
And just put take that off and put that on there, on that bolt.
Take it off and put it on?
Take the red part off. Oh, man.
do this the way we did last time. Pull out the pocket lighter.
Oh, I picked the wrong one. So it says I broke Ape's SSB cherry, and so Mike and I did have a SSB contact way back in the day when I got my 7300, and I did tell him he was my first, but I tell all the girls that, and but it was true in Mike's case, I think. But well, my first legal non-11 meter single sideband.
One for the record books, man.
Yeah.
And I'm about ready to hook that Galaxy up and talk to this guy.
He says
when you
Galaxy.
talk to him, do you do your Southern accent there?
Sure. Yeah. Of course you do. Start talking all kinds of slang.
So Chris Radio Life was saying, should someone who's never built an antenna be able to do this? Maybe, right? So for first antenna build, if you were going to buy one of ours, the Poseidon's probably the easiest multi-band antenna to build and deploy and use. You do have to use a tuner with it, or the Apollo. But within your first couple antenna builds, you should be able to knock this one out. And if you're a little bit handy with the tools, you shouldn't have any problem.
The only thing hard about this one is you just gotta keep track of the wires.
Yeah,
I mean, we're 40 minutes into this, just being bros talking and shooting the breeze, and it's going pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna solder this thing up.
I'd be stringing mine up by now, but you know.
Well, you didn't have anybody talking to you either.
Dude, I'd be making an FT8 contact, and that's if I didn't have WSJT installed.
Yeah, you still have to install that too. Oh man, somebody's keying down there. I should go down lower and see if I can get the World Series. Oh yeah, look at that.
Hey, Hollywood.
So while we're doing this, what's the magic sauce that makes this thing work? Is what is it, 450 ohms of transformation down to 50 ohms for your radio? Is that the right math?
It is the right math. So it's a 9-to-1. So 50 times 9 is 45. So it gives you. So what you want to do is you want to use an antenna length, an element length that's not resonant on any ham band or harmonic thereof, or ham frequency or harmonic thereof. So it's truly a non-resonant on the ham band antennas. And what happens is that you're stepping your voltage up, because this is a voltage on. So you're stepping it up. And then you're also stepping up your impedance by a factor of 9. I think the voltage step up's 3 times the voltage. So
it's like FT8.
It works really well you can use shorter antennas. Our instructions have a list of antenna lengths that we would suggest you use, all the way up to 71 feet. I think Chuck uses 71 feet. I think I use 52 feet and 41 feet. You'd have to check the instructions for that.
I do 41 feet. Start what the instructions say.
Yeah, instructions are 41 feet. Also, I've used 35 and a half and 29 and a half.
And Mike's saying he likes 51. 51 will work for you. Eamon's here.
Yeah, 51 is fine. I think it's 72. Maybe it's 72 feet is one. If you wanted to get 80. But my personal recommendation is, if I was really playing around a lot on 80 meters, I would use a beefier core than a 140. So we make this for a 40 through 6, and you'd be fine with a 41 or 51 foot element on that. And then we slap a 17 foot counterpoise on there, and 17 feet is a guideline. I mean, you could go a little bit shorter if you wanted, but I would look at 17.
All right. So I've got that ring terminal in there. I got some solder in there to make a good electrical connection.
Did you solder to the tab? I can't see.
Yeah, I didn't solder to the tab. I guess I should do that. You're right.
Yeah, I'd solder to that tab.
So glad you're here.
This guy's audio looked really good, the loud guy. Nice waveform.
I mean, I guess you could go to 984 feet if you wanted, Don, but you might have a hard time keeping it up. And I'm talking about the wire.
Wire, yeah. That guy that sells the Nelson antenna he says his favorite was one of the shorter ones, and he used that stainless steel fishing wire.
Mm.
You could get that stuck in a tree and pull the tree down, probably.
Stainless steel
Pull it
fishing
down.
wire, yeah.
I just don't know how much juice you could put through that stainless steel wire.
Plenty. It's no different.
All right, there we go. All
I don't
right.
know, Big John. Did I get that video? I don't know what you're talking about.
So snip that extra tail off there.
Yeah.
Purdy.
And then I'll put the water mount
I don't
on
hear
there.
any Roger beep, Gray Man.
That's
These
what I'm
guys
here
are-
for, Lon.
These guys are sophisticated CBers.
I'll tell you what, the offset on this Gerber tool makes that
I
screwdriver
hate it.
really useful.
Oh, you like it?
I like it. Because it's just it's centered up like it's supposed to be, like a real screwdriver.
Northern Indiana.
All right, and since I put the counterpoise down here, I'm going to put the antenna element up here,
Correct.
keeping it all right-handed.
Hey, Don, will the Hermes transmit on CB frequencies? I mean, it should be legal. It's only 5 watts.
If you put the right firmware on there.
That's what he
But
said.
CB radios actually have a certification on them, right? Like a Land Mobile. It's not Part 90. I can't remember. Maybe it is Part 90.
95?
I think 95 is GMRS and FRS. So you're not technically allowed to build a CB radio and put it on the air. And that would include modifying a ham radio to transmit on the CB bands. So yeah, just bend that thing around and up there and then put it on the same way.
Up there?
Yep.
Up there.
So I'm going to take off what I think is the right amount of wire, and then Ape's going to come back and tell me that I didn't take off enough.
Oh, you didn't take off enough, son. No, I'm just kidding.
Told you.
Chuck's the one that's really a stickler for, you could make that a ½ centimeter shorter.
That's right.
Well, I mean, ounces
gotta
or
look good
pounds when
when
you're
you're
out on
done.
the trail, man.
I can't wait till we get our new heat shrink.
Oh yeah, that stuff's going to be nice.
Yeah, we stole the idea from Dennis.
That's
As
right.
soon as he showed us the invisible heat shrink that he uses on his batteries now, Chuck, we're stealing that.
That's right.
Uh-oh, Scout's asking the hard-hitting questions for Chuck.
I don't know. There's one sitting in my motorhome right now.
Chuck has gone a little rogue over the last 2 weeks working on his hex beam, so we haven't really been pressing him. We figured he deserves to be a ham radio operator too and have his own projects.
My hex beam is going to be rocking here pretty quick. I got the new feed line on it today. Thanks, Dave. I need a raise too, Don. Put that in there for me too.
We just gave you a raise, Chuck. What you bitching?
I'm actually low on these antennas. No, the Mercuries. I don't think I.
All right, so it is part 95. Thank you, Izzo.
See, when I said it was part 95, no thanks. No.
He had to run out to his El Camino and get his old manual out.
His El Camino. What year El Camino does he have?
I don't know.
That's right, James. Going to have to do that.
70.
I think it's
70 would be
Subaru has
awesome.
come out with an El Camino looking thing.
Well, Subaru had the Brat, and then they had the Baja, and I don't know if they have
Kia.
it current.
Kia came.
It's
And then
Kia that
Hyundai
has
has
it.
the Santa Cruz.
Well, I saw
Yeah,
some El
Kia.
Camino looking thing at work, and it was modern looking. And
Have you seen that
I
square
stopped
looking
and
one?
looked at it, and I said, it's cool, I guess, but it ain't the same kind of cool.
He's got the Caballero, the GMC.
Well, no, that's not the kind where you have the mullet. That's the kind where you have the man bun.
right.
I think we're done, folks.
I think we are too.
Izzo had to check under his belly. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that was the belly of his Cobra 148.
Mm-hmm.
I got a sweet 148 out in the motorhome.
All right, so I've got this little bit of heat shrink. Should I shove that on this bit over here?
I would.
Yeah, sure. Oh man, you know what I did last night? So
I can only
this
imagine.
This is one of the nicest things that you can get right here. This liquid tape, and you can
It
get
sure
all those
is.
spots that you can't get insulation on. I dropped the damn thing on my new pants last night, and it's like,
well, you might as well just throw them out because there ain't no getting that out.
I got most of it off.
And this stuff has got some fumes on it. You know what I'm saying?
It does. It does.
When you
I was
open it
afraid
up,
to
you're
light
like,
a match out there.
It's
I was
volatile.
afraid to leave the lighters off when that stuff's open. I did use the new one of our new little capacitors the other day.
what did you build there? Hold it up, Chuck.
Oh, it's just the high power Apollo.
Oh, the high power.
And that's 2 140s?
2 140s. I think it has more girth than the big one that people are starting to use. And
Yeah,
I saw
that's
some.
not the Colin core.
Well, Colin's numbers might have been good, but I saw some numbers on SWR. It's nowhere near as good as the 140. It could have been something else, but who knows?
How do I do that? I do this and then I do that. Nope, I do.
It's the
I do
fourth screen.
this and then I do that.
That's the fifth. There we go.
And then I do this.
That's good.
What's that? I do this and then I do that. That's
This
4.
is nuggets. We just figured out. That's number 4 right there.
Hammett till it hurts us. He's not addicted to liquid tape. He just uses it
You can
every
quit
day.
anytime, man. You can quit anytime.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
Oh, and Ron says, get the freaking lighter. I got some guy complain. I turned you off as soon as I saw the lighter come out on that heat shrink. And I was like, obviously you didn't because you're writing this.
Right.
Yeah.
You took time to actually complain.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use the lighter because I didn't want to melt the wire on the core or the zip ties or anything.
I can't find my my heat gun.
Well, see, if I'm watching a video and I don't like it, I stop watching the video.
Right.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other videos out there that I can leave nasty comments on that show that I didn't watch the whole thing. All right, boys, I think we're done.
I got some
Any
products
testing I
up
need
on
to
the
do?
shelf there from Bullet Bob's. He's a local guy here in California. Bullet Bob CB shop. I don't know if he's still around or not. I should look it up.
If you have a 450 ohm capacitor, or you could make a,
Don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're fine.
Well, that went a lot faster than I thought it would.
Well, you got experts
History.
here. But the other one is that when
Bob Burns.
if at home, if you do one of these builds, do not put on the shrink wrap until after you test it. Because if you need to tidy something up, you're out the shrink wrap.
Right.
Different guy.
Thank you, Eamon.
Yeah, guys should look up the history of Bullet Bob Burns, CB extraordinaire.
Hi.
Worked
Hi,
out of his
everybody.
garage. What happened?
So 45
Stopped sharing the
Auto
antenna.
is saying that he's surprised you're allowed to call yourself Bullet Bob in California. So I was going through,
Who said
I'm like,
that?
look, we got to
Who said
cancel
that?
some of these streaming services because there's nothing good on them. And I was going through
Right.
Hulu and I was naming all the stuff that looked like it sucked. And I came across the David Spade TV series called Just Shoot Me. And I'm surprised. I was triggered right out of the gate. And I'm surprised that a show with a title like that's even allowed to be restreamed these days.
Yeah, you were triggered.
I was.
A gun terminology.
I was going to call or write a letter, handwritten letter, to Hulu executives.
Ooh,
November 1
551.
Echo Romeo Alpha N1 ERA says, great show. Thank you, N1 ERA. Yeah, so with T-Mobile, I got a free subscription to Netflix that I haven't ever turned on. And with Mint Mobile, I got a free subscription to Paramount Plus or whatever it's called. And I probably won't do that.
Oh,
I worked
Paramount's.
for the Discovery Channel for a while, and they gave me a free subscription to all of the Discovery Channel brands. And I'm like, I looked at it. I'm like, there's nothing on that I would watch.
It's amazing because like I've got 900 channels of nothing.
Yeah.
So our buddy Hamtool Hertz is saying that if you put a dummy load on the BNC, which you could do, you could hook your VNA up using like the janky test leads that I have, and you should see a 450 ohm impedance. But he's saying use test probes on your multimeter, and you can do that, and you should see. Well, I don't think you're going to see 450 ohms, but the thing is that multimeters are DC, and we're testing actually for behavior at RF. So I would say I would probably pass
Hollywood
on that.
is absolutely correct.
Yeah. I do watch a lot of the content that I like to watch on like today I was
On
watching
YouTube.
cooking channel stuff on YouTube.
Oh, so you were watching my new cooking video?
Exactly.
Yeah, we stopped. I used to get Comcast when I was in Maryland for the high-speed internet and never had the TV service, never plugged a TV into it.
That's how they get you. Like, well, you have to buy basic cable.
Yeah, well, what they found out is that basic cable comes on the wire. If you're getting the internet service, just plug your TV in and you get basic cable.
Well, they were sending out technicians to put like a terminator on there that would block that frequency. Only in extreme cases, I would imagine.
Extreme cases of abuse.
Extreme.
So I guess at this point it's anybody's game, open for questions, or we can talk about our favorite TV shows like Just Shoot Me.
Right. One of my favorites is My Name's Earl. Do you guys watch that at all?
My name is, speaking of Subaru Brats.
Yeah,
I think I watched like the first season of it and then gave up on it.
It gets
Who's
so
the
funny.
best worst cook of the car bunch? I don't know. Chuck's got those
the
burnt
worst.
ends. Oh, I would agree. Jim is the worst. Yeah, that's easy. But who's the best?
Would be me,
subjective.
of course.
I don't know. When we went to Grand Canyon, I did win the award for the best meal cook there out of all the guys that were there. And Frank was hoping he was going to win, but he didn't.
So I just got a new combination air fryer, grill, griddle, smoker device.
You had me looking at those pretty hard.
It's working out pretty well. There's only two things that I don't like about it. One is you got to have location services turned on in order to use the app. So I might go get myself another Android just for that.
A burner Android.
Yeah. And then two is I made some beef jerky, and there's going to be a video coming out on the RV channel. It's Living for a Living RV. I made some beef jerky in it, and then after the 6 hours was up to make the beef jerky, I put a second batch on, and I hit the go button, and it lit up on high and burnt my jerky to a crisp.
Oh boy, that's probably user error though, right?
Well, you would think that it would just remember the last setting that it was on. It went back to like default, everything's on high, everything's on full blast, full burner. So the next one coming out is going to be I'm making some fajitas, and I am making use the air fryer. I'm gonna make up some popcorn shrimp or something.
Well, I'll tell you, after you were showing that off, I was like, man, I could go up to Walmart right now, be back in 30 minutes with one.
Well, I got the Big Daddy. I figured buy once, cry once.
Yeah, that's the right way.
Check this out.
Sounds like a Southern saying. That burns my jerky.
I just got some of these things today.
Oh, you did order those, huh?
Yeah.
So we're thinking about, let me get you on the main screen. We're thinking about using these instead of the O-ring lugs or O-ring terminal lugs on the antenna kits.
The red rings, yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to
pulsating behind me. Oh, it's the sunlight hitting the ceiling fan, Mike. We're just gonna leave Chuck on main screen for a while, make him feel awkward. Yeah, so all this like pulsating light stuff over here, right over there, that's from the ceiling fan in the other
I just
room.
thought the alien ship was landing, that's all.
The heat shrink fits perfect. Look at that.
Nice. And so that's just like the BNC tab, only smaller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the right size for our bolts. It's actually the bigger one.
Scout's got
for our bolt.
So I got to tell you, man, you should try doing the pork chops on the air fryer setting. You can. I do them like that now.
You got to see my brisket the other night. It came out really nice.
How many pounds of brisket did you end up cooking?
I'd say there was about 7 or 8 pounds. Three good sized ones.
I had to reach
so
out
you
to
probably just had the flat, like they were brisket flats.
They were about like this.
Yeah.
I had to reach out to my buddy Ken and get
she wanted me to hurry it up.
Before
Yes.
the
It was getting
pandemic, there was a place by my work that was selling full packer cut briskets for like 70 cents a pound. And I went and I bought 2 of them. They're like 30 pounds each. And I had to keep them cold, right? So I brought them into work and put them in the refrigerator. And then like the floor, the guy the building maintenance guy for our floor was like, he's like, who put that in the refrigerator? It looks like a dead cow in there. I was like, son, that's a full packer cut, 2 of them. And then he was like, oh, how much you pay for that? And all of a sudden it was okay.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely correct. It was a dead cow.
Yeah, I was like, it's just part of it. It's just part of a dead cow.
The best part. Yeah, we went to this one butcher shop in Maryland, mix of Clinton. He's not in Clinton, by the way. This was the one that was in Prince Frederick, because I was down in Southern Maryland. He would sell you an entire New York strip steak for like $9 a pound. I'm like, oh
Nice.
crap! Now I got to cut this thing and wrap it. He's like, no, we'll cut it for you. I'm like, how am I saving money? I guess I'm just buying in bulk at that point. So we bought the whole strip.
They're just being neighborly. I got nothing else going on over there. I do that with rib eyes. Is I'll buy a whole prime rib or a nice chunk of prime rib and then cut my own steaks out of it.
So get this. I'm really weird about rib eyes. Rib eyes, I think, have too much fat in them, but I love prime rib.
It's the exact same cut, right?
Isn't it like 4 inches farther down?
Well, it depends. Like a lot of people will take prime rib and cut it, and then call it a rib eye. Yeah, Costco business has a meat room.
Don's calling us out, so we went total clubhouse on him.
Yeah, we probably did.
No, we actually
finished it.
We didn't copy one of our own shows, though.
No.
So let's talk about this for real, though. We started with ham and ended with fun. They start with fun and
then end with fun.
That's kind of it. Yeah. Not if there's anything wrong with that. Right. We're supposed to have a variety of programming here on the YouTubes.
Well, Big John's going to do 90 pounds of brisket on the 4th of July and 12 racks of pork ribs.
Nice.
Wow.
All farm
Big John's house.
I did a bunch of ribs the other day, too. We had those the other night. They were good.
Have you ever done beef ribs? Have you ever done them?
Yeah.
I'm not a big beef rib fan.
I've always done pork ribs. I've never done beef ribs.
So have you guys had schmaken, beef bacon?
I have.
It's actually really good, especially when you go to the Jewish deli.
It's hard to beat a pig, though.
Yeah.
But if you're doing pig ribs, do you guys like the St. Louis cut or do you like the baby backs?
I like the baby 3 and down.
I like the baby backs. I think that's the best.
And you got to go 3 and down. You can't go any bigger.
Somebody's saying beef short ribs are good.
Yeah. A lot of bone. Not a lot of meat.
See, Joe is always even keeled. He's always trying to keep the peace.
He's trying to calm the scene.
It's like he's a peace officer between the different YouTube channels.
Yeah, you think he's a peace officer.
He's there. There's nothing to see here, folks.
It's okay.
Yeah, Dean's saying country style pork ribs, and I love country style pork ribs.
Those are good. The ones I cooked the other night were like little short ones. And they're
the riblets.
Really beefy, really.
Well, I do my country style pork ribs in the air fryer too.
They weren't riblets.
And I just put like a nice pork rub on them, drop them in the air fryer.
Oh, yeah.
And then as they're starting to get done, as I brush them with a little sauce and they get nice and crispy. And then I serve them up with a little side of coleslaw and a piece of cornbread.
So apparently this is like the international thing, pork butts. I didn't know Canadians like pork butts.
I thought they ate beaver. Up there.
Right.
Always eating beaver up in Canada.
Now, if this was the Thursday night show, we could say a little more about that, but not on Monday night.
Pork butts, that's some good carnitas. Pork butt.
When they say something is al pasteur, what exactly does that mean?
Oh, man, I used to know this.
Because everybody's like, well, that means it's cooked over fire. And I'm like, well, that's barbecue.
Right. So while we're waiting for the chat to come up with that answer, there's some, Law and Order stuff going on here. Air frying meat is as bad as microwaving it. You apparently haven't had air fried hot wings, son.
Right, hot wings, hot dogs, bologna.
You know how your French fries, you bring your French fries home from the restaurant, if there's any left over and they taste like crap, put them in an air fryer and they're great.
Yeah, you got to dry that grease out of them.
The best hot wings I've ever had in my life are coming out of an air fryer these days. And so I'm in my 50s and I've eaten hot wings at least once a week, every week since I was probably 15 years old. So if you add that up, that's 50 times a year for 40 years, right? So that puts me into thousands of servings of hot wings. And that makes me an expert. That makes me an expert.
Yeah.
State my qualifications. And I'm telling you, I'm getting the best hot wings of my life out of the air fryer.
So I'll tell you what, take the hot wings and just thick coat them with Old Bay and then stick them in the air fryer.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta tell you another one is like Italian. Like if you make meatballs, cook them in the air fryer. You get a nice crispy outside on the meatballs.
Oh,
nice,
that does sound good.
Juicy, tender, succulent center on them things.
So the El Pastor usually is cooked on a rotating thing where it's like it has heat from the sides, and then just slice it off as it gets done.
But that's what the Greeks do with the what is that thing the Greeks have called?
Oh, you're talking about heroes?
Yeah, but they have a special word for the meat. I can't remember what it's called.
No, I don't know.
These guys are still talking, man.
Well, yeah, we start talking about food. We're among older, extra large gentlemen here.
Right, hams. But like
hams.
I'm telling you, do your hot dogs in an air fryer. They're just like if you got them at the gas station off the rolling machine.
Nice. Get a little skin on them. You guys get the skin on wieners down there,
right?
You guys ever had
Hamstick Eric here? He said he had Chipotle. He says it's a long time since he's had it. There's just something about Chipotle I don't like.
Get rid of the microwave.
It's not Mexican.
Get rid of the toaster. Man. And they were talking about it earlier. Ninja makes one that folds up. So when the air fryer folds down, it's big enough to put like a regular frozen pizza in. Air fried pizza is good too.
Yeah, if you got leftover pizza, drop it in the air fryer. It comes out like nice and crispy.
Jeff, I will add to this. So field day is about two things. One is you got to get all your friends together and scramble like mad in the morning to get all the antennas set up so that you can't make any contacts because you're too busy eating food the rest of the day.
Right.
That's all any club I've ever been in has ever done. Set up antennas, and then weeks and weeks of planning and building antennas, and then like all morning of setting them up, and then we're just wiped and we eat.
Right.
So what I did, I was really smart. I set up my radio station to remote control, my ham shack at home, and then I just laid on the couch at the ham shack and did FT8 from my phone the whole time.
Listen, since Hamstick Eric says it, and he's respectable, he says steak is good in an air fryer. Just don't admit to doing it. But he
also likes pineapple on pizza.
But that's a sin.
Well, yeah.
But I have done a steak in a pinch in the air fryer, and it was fine.
I can agree with this. Air fryers are a fad because before today we called them convection ovens.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. Well, they're not really like a convection oven. So me and my buddy at work argue about this all the time because they have the fan. Different. They have the big ass fan in there.
I thought that was the thing that made the convection oven was the fan.
It is.
But it's not a high speed fan like in the air fryer.
Well,
right?
They're a little different.
Mike's on Team
I don't know why. I don't know why Gray Man's so hating on him. Why is he hating on him? I don't know.
Because he's old.
He looks like he eats.
Old and gray. Yeah.
There we go. Eric's got it. Gray Man Pote is a fad. Leave air fryers alone. This is our time down here. Fans and convection ovens. Yeah, you're outnumbered.
Well, I mean, I'm not disputing there's a fan in there, but what I'm saying is the air fryer got a turbo fan. Like when you turn that thing on, you can hear it. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the big thing in
James got it
now and stuff. They want to put convection microwaves in, then they don't put an oven in it. Well, the problem with that is if you dry camp and you don't want to run your generator all the time, now
that's really you don't have an oven. Only drawback to that Ninja grill that I got is it's 120 volts.
Yeah,
but you
said you're going to turn it over.
Can you put like can you put charcoal and stuff in it?
It has a little scoop. I'll get the scoop for you to show you. It's got a little scoop that you put the pellets in.
It's for pellets.
And those pellets will do about 6 hours worth of smoking for you. So it's smoke flavor. It's not smoke cooking.
This is it right here. Look. He's got.
I had an electric smoker, and it worked like that.
KB8M is right. He is correct.
See, that's the cup size, and that's my hand size.
I
See,
don't know about the
that's a
Lebanese
good
part,
cup
though.
size for my hand. You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking
Yeah.
about? And so that's all the pellets that you
More
put
than
in
you're
for-
used to, you mean?
Can you put wood chips in there? Or does it have to be like a certain pellet?
Well, they want you to use
They're
their
food
brand name
grade
pellets.
They're food grade pellets.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
pellets you put in your stove that
kitty
you
litter
heat
pellets.
with.
Yeah,
But you can
They're
put like
different,
I always use
supposedly.
wood chips
right.
You soak them.
in apple juice. Yeah.
Yeah. So Liberty's saying truth here, and I agree with you. However, the problem I have is that I like to make beef jerky, and there was no way to carry a dehydrator, a grill, a griddle, an air fryer until I got this thing and a smoker.
But see, you're not. I mean, you're not technically a camper. You're an RVer, right? Isn't that? I mean,
Right.
there's a little bit of a distinction there,
Yeah, we're better than campers.
right? Like you bathe.
Right. Yeah. I
mean,
bring my
so-
shower with me, and I don't have to dig a hole to go to the bathroom.
like a turtle.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a lot of
On his
times
back with his
I
hands up and
really like to go boondocking. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way, but I got enough battery power now.
Yeah,
You
that's
should
the
have plenty
problem.
of battery.
You don't have a
So-
generator, do you?
I don't. I'll have room for a generator with the new setup, and the new setup will probably have a generator built in. But man, 6 hours of running the generator to run a 120
I
volt
know.
smoker.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
a
worst
pain in
part.
the ass.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
it'll
do
be
it during
worth
the
it,
day
though.
when you got your solar on.
No, I'm gonna do it like all the people out of Courtside did. I'm gonna do it all night long, man.
No, I don't mean the generator. I mean use your battery power during the day. Make sure you do it during the day so you can generate some power too.
See, I can't say this out loud because somebody's got her ears on in the other room. But
But
this
see,
is
I
absolutely correct.
I think that
I'm already getting it.
right. I think that running your
She heard
generator
that.
all night is a little white trashy. I'm just going to say
Well,
that.
that's what we were talking about. Yeah, there was like everybody
We had a
around us was
guy.
running their generator all night long, all week long.
Well, just the one guy ran it all night long. Everybody else ran them a lot. I never
But
even. Did I
he was
run mine?
probably passed out on the brown liquor.
think he even
and
ran
didn't
mine.
you know what I mean? Didn't even know that he was making all that noise.
No, he
Well,
looked
he
at
had
me
to
when I
keep his
started my
CPAP
two
running.
stroke. He gave me the look when I started up my two stroke, which is kind of loud. Because his friends were complaining about him, and I agreed with them. So I was probably on his list.
Well, you should have gone over there and gave him the 52 pickup. Been like, son,
You know what
don't
you
judge
do?
me.
What you do is you go over at night, turn it off, and then turn the switch back on. And he thinks it's broken. That's how you do it.
Right. Just be like, son.
And then if it starts again, you just wait a while and you go do it again. And then they think there's something wrong with it. And then it takes it to the shop, and the shop says, "You're crazy. There's nothing wrong with this."
I think
we've
cornbread's
got
gonna
a
come to
guy.
our cook-off and make some cornbread.
We've got a guy in the neighborhood that we're friends with, but whenever we would be like out at night smoking cigars and stuff like that, using the propane heaters in the wintertime, and they would run out of fuel, we would sneak over to his and steal his tank and then put an empty one in.
Nice.
And we've done that dozens of times. I hope he doesn't. He's not a ham, so I don't think he's watching. But he'd be like, "Man, those things really chew up the propane. I'm constantly."
Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A ham cooking show, not talking about cooking ham. Colin, thank you very much, but I don't know. Bacon and ribs. What else?
Bacon and
And
ribs.
pork butts.
Well,
Loins,
there's
pork
there's
loins.
the pork picnic and the pork butt, right? And then
Well, yeah, the picnic is the shoulder.
yeah, and then I'm not sure what's the butt a little bit further down. It's
Well,
like
no, there's the actual butt, the rump roast.
yeah. Well,
and then
there's like
the
three
picnic
different
roast is the
cuts
shoulder.
there, though, right? So you have the pork shoulder,
Or the,
which I
the
think is the
Boston
whole.
butt.
Yeah, then you have the butt, and then I'm sorry, the other one's the picnic, the pork picnic. When you get the picnic, it has the
Time to go,
scale.
guys. Thanks
Yeah,
for showing
all right,
up,
see ya.
everybody.
What's up, fellas?
So you were admitting to hanging out at the truck stop one Saturday, right?
There was no hanging out. I drove over to the truck stop and looked to see what they had in the way of CBs, and then I
He
left.
was there for hours.
I
No,
was
he
there
was
for-
he was like, "Can I go
He
talk
was
to Earl
gone
in
for
the
quite
back?
a while.
I want to talk to Earl in the
Yeah, he
back
did.
about the screwdriver job."
I've got my own golden
He
screwdriver.
was like, what kind of equipment you boys got back here?
It's all in a lock case, and you had to get one of the employees to open it up. They just had a couple Cobras, and the other one had some Unidens and a Cobra.
what is it? Dirt Devil? No, the Road King. That's the one. The Road King powered microphone. Did they have them with the mirror
Doc
hanger?
Brad here acting like he wasn't talking bad about you earlier in the show.
What's
That's
up, Doc?
right.
How are you? Well,
Yeah,
my
he's
my
sucking
kid
up.
won. They won the volleyball game.
Woo!
So,
Awesome.
right now, I got
Sorry.
to go back tomorrow because this is the tournament.
Oh yeah, it's
Nice.
just kind of like secretly
Oh,
hoping
man.
that tough break,
Maybe.
kid.
Tough break, yeah.
And if she wins tomorrow
I
night,
thought
I'll
you
be
guys
out
had- that was a
Thursday,
bad call.
apparently. So
That was a bad call. Yes.
Chuck, tune in 14275. See if you can hear our buddy Frank running K-Toads.
14275.
Yeah, and then while you're doing that,
You're talking about wilderness, Frank.
Yeah,
He's probably plugging his show on the K-Toads, using K-Toads at 14.
right.
Oh, he's
Promotions.
there. He is.
Well, you're doing
QRP.
That. I'm gonna-
Do you hear that?
No, I didn't.
did he say QRP really? Oh, Todd
Frank
just
did.
dropped the super chat.
Todd. Thank you,
Thank you,
Todd.
Todd. Chuck, pour a gallon on him real quick.
South Carolina.
So we were going to do an M17 show tonight, but Jim dipped out at the last moment. And so what I did was I just dropped some links in the chat. It's kind of ugly, but they're in the Nuggets channel on the Toads Discord, which is linked at the bottom of the chat, at the bottom of the video and over at the top of the chat there. What we did was we punted that show out till after Dayton because the M17 boys, Ed and Steve, said they're going to come on the show with us and set us on a straight course, just like Ape did tonight when we built this beautiful,
That's
sexy
awesome.
antenna. Look at that, Jim.
Kilo
That is
6 uniform.
Fire.
Sierra
That
Yankee.
is fire.
Couldn't have done it without Ape here. And
They
now
did it
y'all
in
can
like
watch
40
this and
minutes.
do it.
He did
thought
it.
you. I thought you
It
built
surely
one
was,
already.
Frank.
Didn't you do a Poseidon already? I thought you did. Maybe not.
It's not a Poseidon, son.
Oh,
We're gonna, good
4-1.
thing you're quitting.
Where are you at?
oh, that's an Aries. Okay.
It's an Aries.
He did it in 40 minutes, and that's with shit talking.
You
Right.
see, I
Well,
couldn't do it
hang
in
on a
40
second,
minutes
see if I
with
get
or
a little
without shit
stronger.
talking.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Why
Look
cheated
who it
just
is.
Because old
Can you do
Chuck,
better
old Chuck wrapped my roid for me. So.
Twinkle, twinkle, periwinkle, 555.
Oh.
All right. How about now? That's right. That's what happens when you have a good antenna.
I ought to get on remote ham radio and light him up with 1500.
He
From
He
Arizona.
did.
He'll make
He
his
said,
bald
see if we
head
can hear
shine.
you. Says you're doing K-Toads today.
Tell him that we're streaming and ask him if he wants to plug anything.
Right.
You know, we're streaming right now. I'm running 10 watts or 5 watts. We're running 5 watts. We're streaming. Do you need to plug anything today?
Chuck's QRP.
It's working, man. How's my 5 watts doing? Hey, wait, don't,
Oh, he just told you goodbye?
How's my
He
how's
said-
my 5 watts doing?
He told you to get your shine box, Charles.
He sure did.
Oh, 5, 6. That's it, huh? All right.
No longer on Lily Go. No.
Oh, they're listening to
No.
you, man. All right, you have fun
You
out
sold
there.
them out?
Don't get watch out the the characters that hang out down at the end of the road there.
He is the character hanging out at the end of
Right.
the road.
It doesn't
Oh,
say it's not available when I click on the Lily Go link.
All he needs
See,
is
add
a
to
van,
cart.
and he'd be that guy.
View my cart. Yeah.
What frequency? Graybeard poses
14,295?
14,295, son. 100% Jody Frank
What's
is the guy in the
295? What's 295?
I was saying, wasn't that his frequency? I was asking the question.
275.
275 Graybeard.
275. If you guys want me to take over the channel, I can take the frequency over if you need me to. Just saying.
Right, you just get on a KK6 USY, taking over the whatever that it is.
House is on the air. This Poseidon's doing pretty good, man. He's like 5'7". He's got a,
So
got
I was
a
able to
pilot
put
going,
10
man.
of those boards from Lily Go.
And we
in
saw
the
his
cart, so
solder
they have
job.
At least 10.
What's that?
I was able to put 10 of those Lily Go boards, the Module 17 boards, in my cart, so they have at least 10.
That's awesome, but I was asking Chuck.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
I said,
thought it was my
I
show
said
for a second.
we saw
He
his
forgot
solder job.
already.
I'm surprised that thing's working. Of course, if you get extra gain out of solder, then
He was just
Solder.
storing. He was just storing the solder there.
yeah. No, he's got a good signal. I'm not even pointing at him now. He's S5.
Look at Scout. He's saying taking early check-ins for the YL net that starts in 5 hours.
Right.
I could probably get Scout. Scout's got, if you're out there, Scout, I can get you.
Do it on 14,275.
Yeah. He's got a pilot, man.
Just start calling CQ,
Poseidon's
Jim. Act
working.
like he's not even there.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him. He's putting in work. What are we looking at? Is Jim's screen?
This
remote ham radio
radio.
from Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. He's really too close. That was ground wave probably because he's way too close to me for 20. He's actually probably only 10 air miles from me, maybe 15.
Whiskey Tango 1 whiskey. Four.
He gave you a 4.
Yeah, I got you about a 3-4 here in Phoenix there, Frank.
Jim dropping a gallon on him.
Yeah, you weren't real loud.
My radio
Saying-
upstairs.
QSL. Talk to you later, buddy. Good luck. 73.
Saying you can't do K-toads to K-toads.
Sure you can, can't you?
You have to do K-toad slash
November
what is that,
radio,
slash
7
5?
kilo.
/9.
Yeah.
Okay. Get rid of that. Cha-ching.
Done.
Oops.
Done.
I'm not
I
touching.
said done, son.
You said done when I clicked it, and then we both clicked it.
So would that only cost you about $14 to make that contact?
Yeah, it's
Your
probably
remote
about $3. $1.25.
Damn, he's gonna owe you change.
Let's see if I can get him on the. Let's see if
No,
I
that
can
was
get him on
Arizona.
the.
I don't know. Maybe
the
I
hex
was.
beam.
I wouldn't think I was too close from Phoenix to where he's at. That should be 500
No,
or 600
that's not too.
miles
That's
at
not too
least.
bad. That's not too bad.
Oh, there we
Let's see
go.
if we can get him on the hex beam.
K-toads actual.
That's
This is
right.
K-toads actual. Clear the call sign, please.
I should. Oh, I would. That was a great idea.
I don't even hear him now.
Ham till it hurts heard me. He said loud.
We need more
Actually-
Adama.
He said load, but I know what he meant.
So I'm like 5 feet right now, and he's still booming in here.
Are you getting him on the hex beam?
Randall, I wasn't even aimed at you. The station was in Phoenix, aimed toward Frank. So Randall got me 5.5 on the backside. I don't know. Frank must be not using a car antenna.
Loud in Texas too.
He's using a Poseidon.
Is he? He
Mhm.
must got his toroid wrap wrong.
See you, Rick.
No, he's booming, dude.
Have a good one.
Take it easy, LC.
CLC.
Mhm. Yeah, he's much louder. I'm listening to him on your stream, Chuck, and he's much louder now than he was here.
Kilo November 4, Delta Yankee. Good to be on the other side of the activation.
See you,
And
Jeff.
57 in Arkansas, so not bad. See you, Jeff.
0212.
No, he's doing good.
So if you got the antenna built in 40 minutes with the shit talk, what y'all been doing for the last
We've been talking about pork
We
ribs.
talked about you for a
pork
while.
butts,
y'all must not have nothing else
smokers
to talk
versus
about.
air fryers versus sous vide. We didn't talk about sous vide. We're real
sous
hams. We don't
vide.
sous vide.
I sous
See what I
vide.
mean? See,
I
that's what I
agree.
mean.
I am not. It's like flambeing. I'm not going to use a Frenchman cooking technique.
Son, you don't know what a good steak is until you sous vide it for a couple, 3 hours and then throw it in a ripping hot cast iron.
I'm not trying to boil no
Or get a
steak in a
toast.
plastic bag for
It
3
ain't
hours.
bowl it. It ain't bowling
You
it.
boil it in a
It
plastic
is not
bag for
boil-
3 hours.
It ain't
That
bowling
sounds
it.
like
You know, there's a lot of estrogen in those plastics, Jim. That explains
That's
it.
right.
Jeez, whatever. I don't know. My 13-year-old kid that I created at 48, I think would argue with that, but whatever. You know.
But listen, I
That
don't
was
want
before
no
sous
plastic.
vide was invented.
Yeah, I don't want no plastic bag steak. If I wanted that, I would go to the what is it, the Golden Corral.
Mike's got
Oh.
it right. He's 2OM for Gene.
Ain't nothing wrong with
He's
sous
killing
vide. Sous vide works great. So does
Oregon.
the air fryer. Hollywood, that's right. That's all y'all managed to talk about was hot wings instead of
Oh,
chicken.
well,
I
you
do
missed it. Ape is a hot wing connoisseur. He's got over 50,000 hours of eating hot wings under his belt.
Having met Ape personally, I just have no doubt. I can tell
love
that's the
hot
wing
wings.
eating man. Son,
So
I love wings.
Ape,
I
what's
ain't
your
judging.
technique? You gotta twist them and pull.
Well, it depends on if you're eating flat or if you're eating the drum.
We're talking about the
I eat
flats,
them
man.
I eat them like Henry VIII.
The whole thing in and out. Do
I
you
don't
guys
wanna see
like blue
that.
cheese or do you like ranch with yours?
I hate blue cheese. I hate
MF.
blue cheese. Shit
I
is
found
tell me
something the other
ranch.
day. Green olive stuffed with blue cheese. They're the best right now.
Yeah, they are.
That's almost as good as putting pickle juice in your beer.
Ranch or naked. I mean, with just sauce.
I can't put ranch on something. It's just,
And
ranch
so that's the next
is a
thing I
child
heard was
condiment.
get yourself a jar of pickles and get that ranch seasoning packet and pour some in the jar of pickles. Let it marinate for a bit.
That'd be good. I'd eat that.
I think I'd pass. Ranch is for girls and kids.
Whatever.
Grown
This guy-
man don't need to be eating any ranch
My
dressing.
minion at the office turned me on to pretzels. So he'll get one
He's
of them big
5'5"
jugs
in
of
Maryland.
pretzels from like Costco or Sam's or whatever, and then he breaks them up, and he takes a packet of ranch dressing, some cayenne pepper, and oil, shakes all the pretzel sticks after he breaks them in the mixture, and then bakes them for about 20-30 minutes until they're crispy again. So they're like hot pretzels. Really good.
The pink tumblers, we got a couple left. Country James.
Country
I don't know how
James,
many.
as of this moment, because I haven't checked since I got home, there are 6 in stock, and that's it. So if you
Keep
want
in mind,
one,
these boys can't count, so that number could change at any moment.
Order fast.
Scout, what is Scout talking about?
I don't know, but you're welcome.
You're welcome.
We got
Scout.
another person we have to put into timeout. Sorry to say it, Mike. But he's talking about sous vide with a hot kiss.
That's the way to roll. That's the way to roll.
No.
Yes, that's the way chefs cook. And
French
not
chefs,
ones.
it ain't trying to
not
boil no
French
steak.
ones. No.
Do you think John Wayne would
Chicago.
eat a sous vide steak?
We do it Chicago.
Charles Heston going to eat a sous vide steak?
We do it.
No.
He's dead, both of them. So that'd be
But
kind
if
of
they
weird.
weren't, they wouldn't.
We do it the Chicago way.
In Chicago, they ain't
Dirty
sous vide
ape.
nothing.
Sous vide is good, man.
Et tu l'un? Look at what he's saying on here.
KD's upset about the pickle ranch. It wasn't my idea.
I'm with you, KD. And then Lano here speaking heresy, talking about ranch with chipotle adobo and a celery stalk. First off, celery stalk. What are you doing eating a celery stalk? For God's
Dipping the
sake,
ranch
That's what my
dressing.
food eats.
right? And then putting ranch on it.
And then Mike is sassy. That's a great comment.
just
Mike.
got Delaware,
That's a great
man.
comment. I like it.
Mike thinks he's on 80 meters now, but he's totally right.
Well, see, Jason, this is what I don't understand, because we know. Oh, that's not it. Jason, we know that Ape loves the Hallmark Channel with Mrs. Ape. That's like a bi-weekly thing at their house.
I do that to make my wife happy. I don't watch homework because I enjoy it. I do it because I'm a husband.
Right.
And
We're not
Right.
judging you. We're not judging you.
Right. You're also a
But I-
vegetarian. They make your wife happy too.
Right.
But I would never embarrass my ancestors by eating sous vide steak. I'm just saying. I can't
Is
imagine
that the
a
stuff
worse
they do
steak.
in the pressurized bag or something?
No, it's not
That's-
pressurized.
Yeah.
It's vacuum.
They boil it.
No.
They boil it in a
Vacuum.
Ziploc
They
bag.
ain't boiling
Pressurized the
nothing.
other way.
Look at Jim
Hillbilly.
getting all defensive, like he
No, I'm
invented
not.
sous vide.
I
Jim's
was-
people are
Someone else
upset.
just give it. Damn it! Which fucking thing?
The sous vires are worse than QRP.
Dude, that knife
people.
hand.
They're worse
I'm
than
trying to give him the
QRP.
knife hand, but it's the wrong knife hand. You cook it like 118 in the bag, and it stays in the bag. The water temp stays at 118. You take it out of the bag, and you put fire to it. If I'm lazy, I just throw it in the cast iron. If I'm feeling extra manly,
Oh,
which I usually am, I get the torch and take the torch.
I don't know
to
why
it.
you're feeling extra manly.
The torch, son.
Right, you
Fire.
boil it.
Because
You
he was at
boil
that
eggs.
women's volleyball game tonight, man.
I'm at a teenage girl volleyball
like-
game, so
I
and
like
my
women's volleyball,
calm
especially
down,
women's beach volleyball.
right, or college girl volleyball, because shorts.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't beat bikinis.
Dirty old man.
All I can do is window shop.
So here we go. James Cook. Keep in mind, he has the word cook in his name. Is saying the sous vide is French for people who don't know how to cook.
Whatever.
You're a little sensitive
Mike
on
wants to know
that
how you're
sous
gonna
vide.
steak and
I'm not
mug.
sensitive. I'm trying to stamp out
I'm
the
not
ignorance.
sensitive. Did you see that?
I'm trying to stamp out the hillbilly ignorance. I'm surrounded by it.
Talk about people who grind individual cups of whole bean coffee.
Oh,
I think
wow.
we'll save that for next week, but it sounds like a pretty good topic.
I just buy mine ground. I'm too lazy.
But
to
like, why?
grind anything.
Like, oh no! If you grind them too far, it oxidizes the bean, and you don't want an oxidized bean in your hot bean water.
Dirty bean water.
Now you don't drink coffee, so
No, I stand with the oppressed bean pickers.
you do
I
get-
feel that coffee is an artifact of colonialism, and it takes advantage of indigenous peoples across the world,
absolutely.
even though they're allowed to make a living at it. But I stand with the oppressed bean pickers. I won't drink it.
Let's leave facts out of this, Ape.
Right.
I stand with you.
we talk about sensitive topics
too, but I still buy tennis shoes.
I am so woke that I won't drink coffee. Plus, I can't drink. I don't like a hot drink. You know what I'm saying? Like I like a cold drink. I want a drink to be
You're already hot
refreshing.
enough, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
It's-
I want a
it's
drink to be
got too much
refreshing when
fire.
I drink it. Right.
Too much fire. Does that mean you take cold showers every day?
Every morning, start with an ice cold shower. Get your blood going.
Coffee industrial complex. That's right, Chris. Chew the beans with a hot water chaser.
That's right.
See, I'm with Randall. Cold monster in the morning.
When I
Coffee
see
ain't got enough caffeine for me.
in the morning, I start with a cold soda, Diet Dr. Pepper, and then I have 2 cups of coffee on my way to work. So
I start every morning
Hey
off
Frank,
with ice
how's
cold.
my my little hex beam that's on the ground, like 4 feet off the ground? How's it doing? Yeah, it's working. Okay, I'll catch you on 40.
Come back for another override and record the audio.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'll try to catch you on 40 also.
Uh-oh. Prep Hand Paul wants you to check general, Ape.
That's
Alrighty, thank you,
right
man.
now. That's
something
exactly
for you.
why we don't pull beef. It's actually for Big Jim.
73 Frank.
And
it was
somebody
fun.
posted this RF
Oh.
power tap on here instead of my video on the RF power tap. We're gonna
You're
have to
delete that.
we're gonna have to ban hacks.
Axe with axe.
K4
Has
KOA.
he offended us.
Mm-hmm.
He moved
to
that's
40
fine
K4
looking brisket,
KOA.
Paul. And I understand that you don't sous vide brisket, although I have sous vide brisket and it worked out quite well. But you
Prep
can't
Hand
get
Paul,
the
are you
bark
coming to
that good.
Huntsville? Because we're gonna need some of that brisket on delivery.
Yeah. You could
There
be
are
our
5
friend.
antennas on the website. Which one did I make? This is the Aries. This is a 9-to-1 random wire.
We have 5.
Well, we have the Aries Light, the
Oh,
Apollo,
2
the
Aries.
Poseidon, and the Mercury.
Chuck doesn't know what kind of inventory we have. I'm shocked.
I
The
do.
number changes daily. I mean, he just. And then he asked me,
It
I don't know how
depends.
many we
Well,
got.
that's
but
because I
it's on the
make them.
website.
That's because I make
No,
the kits, Gene.
It's pink. We have
It's
no
pink,
black
Lou.
tumblers in stock. Jim's just not good at websites.
I believe I said that before we started this little enterprise.
Well, we're going to.
He did. He did. He did fess up.
Well, we thought you were trainable, like a dog, but apparently,
Woof.
Right. That's the most he's followed his training yet. All right, boys, I'm hitting the end button. This has been fantastic. Thank you for the
Oh,
help
thank
in
God.
building the antenna.
Fantastic.
This thing is looking sexy, and
it
all
looks
the
good,
food
man.
recipes
looks
and
great.
arguments, and coming to a POTA video near you. So
Thanks for having us
Yeah.
on.
for that.
You guys look for Frank. I'm just plugging him right now. You guys look for Frank on 40.
Thank
don't
you,
know where
thank you,
yet.
Chuck.
And he has a YouTube channel.
I'll make
which
sure. I'll make sure that
usually
Frank
plugs
cuts
on
the
our
check
show.
for you.
So
Click, click, boom.